Thanks for staying with us. We're still having this conversation. Why? Because going to say something.
Yes, I was going to say something. Another thing that caused this division was the advent of oil. Once the oil came and the money came, the fight started. Because so the politicians, in their greed, whether the politician was a soldier, whether he was a civilian, they're all the same. I put them all in the same basket.
Yeah.
They helped us, and we swallowed everything. You know, because when Oyinbo left us in a way that we will be fighting forever.
Yeah, true.
That is how they made sure.
That was the intention.
Yes, that was the intention. So that once we don't have that peace,
they can keep eating
we can never progress. Without peace, we can't progress. Imagine in your house, if you and your husband, God forbid, are fighting, there will be no peace in that house. The children will not be happy.
No progress.
There will not be progress. So that is what is happening in Nigeria. And until we can remove the shackles of this division, we can't go forward. And I pray that
and
we will.
In addition to that, and I've always said it, but I think I've said it a few times also when I came back from the Dubai conference last year, and I heard the Rwandan story. And the truth is that if we all sit down, we're having all these national conferences, which are not really addressing the issues, there's a deep hurt that Nigerians must confront. And must also look their brother in the eye that, yes, we had a war. I am sorry for this. You are sorry for this. Have a handshake where there is that sincerity. Although it was argued that it was done in the past, but the truth is that there are a lot of young people saying that that was not the information they got. What was communicated to a lot of people was that there was never an ownership to the cause of the wars we've had in the past. So I think for us to really move forward, because if we don't tackle it at the nucleus, politicians will continue to use this as a tool for campaign to divide Nigerians. So Nigeria in itself must be very mindful and intentional about saying, Lord, let us remind ourselves that we are one country. So who is not by saying unity or united we stand. It's not by saying that. Yeah. It's about confronting what they did in Rwanda. Yeah. The person who raped your daughter, you go to the person, confront the person, you did this to my child. He then apologizes to you and does everything to retrace their steps. And then you must sound say, I have forgiven you. And that forgiveness must be, that scenario must be done where you are able to face each other. Good. But until you do that, and you are recognized to have been forgiven, you can't move forward.
So who is the Nigeria that will do it? Because unfortunately, the politicians who are using this against us because of their personal interests are the ones at the helm of affairs that would call the meeting to start having this conversation. Now, they will not call the meeting to have this conversation because they have their own hidden interests. They know that if we have this peace, we resolve this issue, we will not benefit as much as we are benefiting today. And nobody wants to do that. So if you say Nigeria, it's not me and Marian that will stand up and carry placard and say, oh yeah, come on, who killed your father? Who raped your sister? We don't have the influence to do that. It's going to still take the people at the helm of affairs, the leaders, to decide that we need to tell our story. We need to go back to history. We need to find where we have gone wrong. We need to start making amends. We need to start apologizing to the communities. I want to read that Babangida's book. I don't know how I can get it. Maybe, is it available online? Of course. Because he made some statements. Please, I would love to read it. He made some statements in the book. If I read it now, I will know the exact things he said. That most of the people were blaming for some of the for the war that happened were not the ones actually responsible for that war. And he explained it there. Now, those people have been aggrieved for a very long time because the blame was put on them just like that. And now somebody's coming out to say that this is a misconception. We can start from there. Somebody has given us history of what has happened. Who is making a move now to say, this has been wrong. Our children have grown up to believe that this was the story. Now we are realizing that this is actually not the story. Who do we start apologizing to? It's not me. It's not Morayo. It's not YK. It's not Miriam. It's the government. So when are they going to be ready to start it?
Alive. Babangida is still alive. These are people who are part of the war. You see, we need these conversations. I mean, they'll say they've written their books. We should all go and read the books and they're going to resolve your problem. But you know, sometimes you need our founding fathers, that they say, to come out and say, okay, this is the direction we must take as a people. Let me take a call from Wisdom. Wisdom, thanks for calling. You're live.
Wisdom. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Wisdom, I hope you are full of wisdom.
I'm sure he gets that a lot.
Actually, I called because of what you just said. I called Hello, can you
hear you? Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I called because of what Mama Kuti said. That's what I've just happened. So what she said was really on point, actually. Like yesterday, I was coming back from work and I was in a midst of friends, so they were just talking. You see this recent Vatican picture or whatever P2D and it's kind of like causing serious reaction even on the street. People were kind of like beginning to hate Obi and what is he doing with this kind of person? But you see, the thing is, the fault is not really from any of them though. What me I'll say is we should just kick off this negative mindset that we keep having about these politicians and try to follow what our lady here said, that until we can wipe out all these challenges that we're having about religion and tribe and whatever, that's the only time we can have peace. They said the white people left us or according to what she said, that they didn't leave us in peace, and I think that's where the fault line has been. That's where the problem has been coming from us, but that's the only thing I see. We can't move forward until we come together, and I pray God will bring us together and we'll see the future together.
Yeah, thank you very much, Wisdom.
Thank you.
I was just
very
saying,
wise.
Because it's those on healed wounds that politicians are still using as tools.
Yeah, that's true. And but the thing is, one conversation would not do it, and it's not enough. As I hear in Rwanda, they sort of have like monuments that you can visit, to sort of remind you. So for us, just the conversation is not on summits and conferences. That isn't enough. First of all, in our curriculum in schools, you have to start putting that in our history curriculum. Let our children read about how Nigeria came to be. What were the wounds that were caused each other, and how have we moved forward to heal each other? Those are the things that we need to do, so that you remind generation after generation, because you can't do it just by one conference. The next generation will have to read about it somewhat. So if you put that in your schools, then when you do your videos and all these things, put that as well. Let that be the story that you tell. Then you will shape a mindset. What we see with America, every time I, just watch some of their story and their history, they've come from a very long place. The America you see today is not because he's very sure of what happened during slavery. It's just the stories that they've told them. The white women that we're talking about the other day, that they were saying they brought sanitation to Africa with colonialism, is what they read in their schools. It's what they had been teaching them. So that is the only way. Our schooling, our creativity, our TV, what are we showing our children? How are we teaching them? Then it will become something that will hold on for the rest of our life. It becomes our culture, it becomes our mindset.
Interestingly, talking about American history, I was watching some documentaries recently, and I was shocked to find that, and even in the United States, they had concentration camps for Japanese Americans when they came back. I mean, they were during the World War II. They actually had camps where they said, because they had issues with Japan, and they were worried about their alignments with was it either Russia or I think Germany. So they came back, and this America of it that we all look at, they actually were very the atrocities they caused, and even with the nuclear bomb they dumped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, it was, and afterwards you're wondering, they came back even with regret that it was not necessary. It was almost as we killed a cockroach with the sledgehammer. So these mistakes will happen. We must document it, and we must face that we did this to these people because this. However, we are retracing our steps, and whatever we need to do to get it back, to make it right with you, we must be willing to do it intentionally. Because if we don't face those realities, we will never move forward. Some clown will wake up tomorrow and say he wants to be governor, and he has to be all those people, throw them in the sea, all those people, put them in the ocean. But they come up with this because we have not faced our issues.
And America has done a good job of wiping people's memory of what has happened.
Simple.
When I read about the Black American community just after slavery or freedom from slavery, that they had created a community where they were making money.
Was it Ohio or somewhere like that?
I think they said the park, the New York park, was it Times Square or something?
Times Square.
Used to be a huge Black American community. They were making money, and they just
Wipe them out.
Yeah, flooded the whole place. I think they, first of all, it was arson, and then they flooded the whole place. And for many generations, they didn't know that story. It's something that some of them are discovering now. So you see the importance of writing things down and speaking to your children after children.
So let's go a short break.
Because it's very easy to forget. After 3 generations, you forget what has happened.
We'll come back after this break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.